Hello and welcome to our channel, where we explore the wonders of the solar system and beyond. Today, we are going to take a closer look at Neptune, the most mysterious planet located at the edge of our solar system. Neptune is the eighth and farthest planet from the Sun, and the least explored one by human spacecraft. It is also one of the coldest planets in the solar system, but it may have a hidden secret, an internal hot ocean. Neptune is an ice giant, which means it has a thick fluid layer of water, ammonia, and methane over a small rocky core. It has no solid surface like Earth or Mars. Neptune is about 4 times the size of Earth and 17 times more massive. It orbits the Sun at an average distance of 4.5 billion kilometers, which is about 30 times farther than Earth. It takes 165 Earth years to complete one Neptunian year. How can Neptune have an internal hot ocean if it is so far from the Sun and so cold? Scientists have different theories to explain this possibility. One theory is that Neptune has some internal heating source that keeps its fluid layer warm and prevents it from freezing. Another theory is that Neptune's fluid layer is compressed by its own gravity, which generates heat and pressure. The third theory is that Neptune's moon Triton, which orbits in the opposite direction of Neptune's rotation, causes tidal forces that heat up Neptune's fluid layer. Neptune's surface temperature is about -214 degrees Celsius, which is the lowest among the planets in the solar system. However, Neptune has been cooling down over time, according to recent measurements by the Hubble Space Telescope. This may indicate that Neptune's internal heating source is not very strong or stable. Neptune has some unique features that make it stand out among the other planets. For example, it has a 28-degree axial tilt, which means it rotates on its side like Uranus. This causes it to have seasons that last for about 40 years each. Neptune also has a very dynamic atmosphere of hydrogen, helium, and methane, which gives it its beautiful blue color. The methane in Neptune's atmosphere absorbs red light and reflects blue light. Neptune's atmosphere is also very stormy, with supersonic winds that can reach up to 2,100 kilometers per hour. That's faster than the speed of sound on Earth. Neptune also has large storms that can last for years, such as the Great Dark Spot, which was about the size of Earth. Neptune has an average surface gravity of about 11.15 meters per second squared, which is about 1.14 times that of Earth's. This means that if you weigh 100 kilograms on Earth, you would weigh about 114 kilograms on Neptune. Neptune's atmospheric pressure at the cloud tops is about 0.01 bars, which is about 1/100th of Earth's sea level pressure. This means that you would not feel much pressure on your body if you were floating in Neptune's clouds. However, you would also not be able to breathe because there is no oxygen in Neptune's atmosphere. Neptune has 15 known moons, each with its own unique characteristics. The largest and most distant one is Triton, which is a frozen world that spews nitrogen, ice, and dust from below its surface. Triton is also the only large moon in the solar system that orbits in the opposite direction of its planet's rotation. This is because Triton was captured by Neptune's gravity from the Kuiper Belt, a region of icy objects beyond Neptune's orbit. This also means that Triton will eventually spiral inwards and crash into Neptune, or break apart into a ring. Some of Neptune's other moons are Nereid, which has a very eccentric orbit, Proteus, which is the second largest and has many craters, Larissa, which has a large ridge around its equator, and Naiad, which is the closest to Neptune and orbits very fast. All of Neptune's moons are named after sea gods and nymphs from Greek and Roman mythology. For example, Neptune is the Roman god of the sea and Triton is his son and messenger. Neptune also has rings, but they are very faint and hard to see. They are made of ice particles mixed with dust and possibly coated with a carbon-based substance. The rings are named after astronomers who contributed to the study of Neptune. Atoms: Arago, Gal, Lassell, and Leverrier. The Adam's ring also has 5 arcs or clumps of material that are mysteriously maintained by the gravitational influence of Galatea, another moon of Neptune. Neptune orbits the Sun at an average distance of 4.5 billion kilometers, which is about 30 times farther than Earth. It takes 165 Earth years to complete one Neptunian year, which means it has only completed one full orbit since its discovery in 1846. Neptune spins very rapidly in about 16 hours, which causes it to have a pronounced equatorial bulge. Neptune's axial tilt is about 28.32 degrees, which means it rotates on its side like Uranus. This causes it to have seasons that last for about 40 years each. Neptune's orbital eccentricity is about 0.0086, which means its orbit is slightly elliptical and not perfectly circular. This means that sometimes Neptune is closer to or farther from the Sun than its average distance. For example, at its closest point, or perihelion, Neptune is about 4.46 billion kilometers from the Sun, while at its farthest point, or aphelion, it is about 4.54 billion kilometers from the Sun. Neptune's orbital inclination is about 1.769 degrees, which means its orbit is slightly tilted from the plane of the ecliptic where most planets orbit around the Sun. This means that sometimes Neptune appears above or below the ecliptic plane when viewed from Earth. Neptune was first observed by Galileo in 1612 and 1613, but he mistook it for a fixed star because it was too dim to see clearly with his telescope. It was not until 1846 that Neptune was officially recognized as a planet by Johann Galle and Urbain Le Verrier, who used mathematical calculations to predict its location based on the perturbations of Uranus's orbit. Neptune's orbit is sometimes affected by Pluto's elliptical orbit, making Pluto closer to the Sun than Neptune for about 20 years every 248 years. This happened last from 1979 to 1999, when Pluto was inside Neptune's orbit for about 2 decades, making it temporarily the 8th planet from the Sun, while Neptune became the 9th planet from the Sun during this period. The only spacecraft that has visited Neptune up close is Voyager 2, which flew by the planet in 1989 as part of its grand tour of the outer planets Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Voyager 2 made many discoveries during its encounter, such as 6 new moons, 4 new rings, and a huge magnetic tail that extends millions of kilometers behind the planet. Neptune has a very unusual magnetic field that is tilted by about 47 degrees from its axis of rotation and offset from its center by about 13% of its radius. This causes it to have complex interactions with the solar wind and its moons. For example, Voyager 2 detected radio emissions from Neptune that were modulated by Triton's orbit. There are currently no plans for sending another spacecraft to Neptune in the near future, but astronomers use the Hubble Space Telescope and ground-based telescopes to monitor its weather and spot new moons and rings. There is also interest in exploring Neptune's moons and rings more closely, especially Triton, which may harbor a subsurface ocean and possibly life. Neptune is a fascinating and mysterious world that deserves more attention and exploration. It is the coldest world in the solar system, with temperatures as low as -214 degrees Celsius at its cloud tops. It is also the most distant world that we have ever seen up close. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new about Neptune. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.